Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Future Card Buddyfight Duel Seeger deck profile for post the 10th anniversary Future Card Buddyfight set. We got some new anniversary support that are some new revival spells and revival items in the latest set for Future Card Buddyfight. I've been trying to update decks as often as I could for this game that I do still have a big love for. So I figured we'd look at a fan favorite, the legend himself, Duel Seeger for Ancient World. With this deck, it focuses on just setting up many different size 3 monsters in your drop zone for you to be able to power up your Duel Seeger Tempest Enforcer Revival Buddy. So, like I said, been a while since I've updated this deck on the channel, but wanted to show all the changes I've made to it for all the Duel Seeger fans out there. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So my buddy for the deck is Duel Seeger Tempest Enforcer Revival Buddy, along with the copy that we run for the buddy. We're running 4 additional copies of this size 3 monster in the deck, with the call cost being when a size 3 monster with lifelink on your field is destroyed, nullify that monster's lifelink and pay 3 gauge. This card on your field cannot be destroyed, returned to the hand, or arrested by the abilities, and it cannot be nullified for its abilities by your opponent's card effects. If this card on your field is on your center, the size of all your original size 3 monsters on your left and right are reduced by 3, and this card gets plus 5,000 power and defense plus 5,000 and critical plus 1 for each different size 3 monster in your drop. So the more size 3 monsters you set up in your drop, the stronger your Duel Seeger Tempest Enforcer Revival Buddy becomes. It's a very powerhouse card in the deck, just being able to make use of the different size 3 monsters we run in the deck to make it all the more bigger powerhouse and all the more difficult for your opponent to get over. This card also has quadruple attack and lifelink lose, so when it does leave the field, you lose the game. But the big play is to have such a big body on the center spot that it's all the more difficult for your opponent to get over. Some of the other playsets we run include 4 copies of Duel Seeger Centurion with a call cost of pay 2 gauge. When it enters the field, draw a card, call up to 1 Dragon Lord monster from your hand without paying its call cost, and put this card in that monster's soul. So this is the main way you want to get out your Duel Seeger Tempest Enforcer Revival Buddy and not use the actual lifelink ability. It's way too slow for the Duel Seeger play. Setting up a Centurion, and then also if it's in the soul of a Dragon Lord, giving it Soul Guard keeps it all the more difficult for you to have your opponent get over and remove your Duel Seeger from the field. And then also the 4 copies of Duel Seeger SD. This card on the field, or in the drop, is also regarded as Martial Arts Emperor Dragon Duel Seeger. You may discard this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card with Duel Seeger and its card name, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So if you have your Centurion in your hand, you can use SD to search out your Tempest Enforcer, and vice versa. You just use this card as a search cost, being able to pay 1 gauge and discard it to then search the proper card needed for the engine. Having multiple attacks with Duel Seeger is a main play point in the deck as well. So we're also running 4 copies of Erudite Dragon Emperor Philosophia. For the counter, being able to choose a size 3 monster in your field, you may drop this card from your hand and pay 1 gauge. If you do, stand this chosen card. So after the quadruple attack of your Duel Seeger, if you have multiple copies of Philosophia in your hand, you can just have that card restand again for an onslaught barrage against your opponent for more and more attacks. Some of the lower numbers for the Ancient World cards we run include 2 copies of 4th Omni Firelord Burn Nova Revival Buddy. So with this card, its call cost is pay 3 gauge. Counter, call this card from your hand by paying its call cost. If you do, drop all cards in your hand, and for this turn, all monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by card effects and attacks, and you cannot take damage. Then for this turn, all cards cannot be destroyed or leave the field or rest by your opponent's card effects. So the fact that Duel Seeger Revival Buddy makes all the monsters on your left and right size 0, you can call out your Burn Nova Revival Buddy to either of those circles as an added protection, having a counter option for this card's call cost to be able to then enter the field, giving you 1 additional powerhouse of a monster on the field as well. Now for the one-ofs, for the monster spots, the big play comes in the fact that you need different size 3 monsters in your drop. So we are running the 1 copy of Duel Seeger. Now this will count as your SD as well, but we have an additional copy just in case, you never know, for those additional spots. The 1 copy of Spartan, along with the 1 copy of Martial Arts Imperial Dragon, Duel Seeger, the 1 Iwagit for the Transcend Emperor Dragon, the 1 Chaos Ravager. Now, these can all be your size 3 monsters of choice. They just have to be different named size 3 monsters. 1 Chaos Valvaros, along with the 1 Armoride Dragon Emperor, Soravius. And then finally, the 1 copy of Chaos Delgarion and the 1 copy of Guardian Dragon of Deity Gate, Fulham Salstetter. I run a wide variety of different size 3 monsters, but these are all in the deck just to be set up in the drop zone. So there are plenty of other cards as well that you can use to set up those cards, which we'll get to when we go over these spells. So the more and more you set up, the stronger you'll make your Duel Seeger Revival Buddy become as well. For the new spells from the anniversary set, we're running 4 copies of Divine Dragon Creation Revival Spell. Its cast cost is drop a hand card, draw 3 cards. Then if you use Divine Dragon Creation during this turn, you draw a card. You can only cast Divine Dragon Creation Revival Spell once per turn. It's good draw power just for the cast cost of dropping a hand card. If you have some of the different size 3 monsters in your hand, you can drop them and then have the draw 3, drawing into more useful cards to continue to use as well. It is a once per turn card, but I still like to run 4 so we can always see this card. Any additional copies in your hand could just be dropped from your hand as well, with the additional boost in draw being if you use the original Divine Dragon Creation, which we're also running 3 copies of, you pay 2 life to draw 2 cards. That's the simplistic way of drawing with the Ancient World deck, using your life for that cost, and then just additional draw, drawing potentially 6 cards in one turn if you have both of these cards in your hand. The other revival spell we run in the deck is Dragon Prudent Revival Spell. With this card, it cannot be nullified, and you choose and use one of the following 2. You may only cast Revival Spell Dragon Prudent once per turn. Counter for this turn, the next damage you take from attacks becomes 0, and the next damage you take from effects becomes 0. Or you can draw a card, and for this turn, the next turn, your size 3 monster on your field gets plus power 20,000, defense 10,000, and critical plus 2. This is just additional power to add on top of your Duel Seeger Revival Buddy. All the stronger for sure, for a definite 4 depending on when you use this card as well. We're also running the 4 copies of Sturdy Dragon Strike. Drop up to 2 Ancient World monsters from your deck into your drop zone, shuffle your deck, then put the top card of your deck into your gauge. It just gives you 1 gauge, but the main play with this card is to set up 2 Ancient World monsters from your deck into your drop zone for you to make your Duel Seeger Revival Buddy all the more powerful. We're also running 3 copies of Dragon Light for 1. I don't believe I updated this deck prior to Buddy Ragnarok, but with the cast cost just being pay 1 gauge and drop a hand card, put up to 1 size 3 monster and 1 size 0 monster from your deck into your hand, shuffle your deck. So we don't run any size 0s, but it says up to 1, so you could still just use this card as a drop and pay 1 gauge to add a specific size 3 monster from your deck to your hand. So using this and Duel Seeger in tandem can help just to search the last 2 cards needed for your combo plays in the deck. We're also running 3 copies of Dragon Emperor Legend. I dropped this card just with the use of the new revival spells in the deck as well. All it does is put the top card of your deck into your gauge, you gain a life, and draw a card. It's a once per turn as well, so opening up multiples of this goes into the same scenario of the Divine Dragon Creation issue we find with the deck. And also 2 copies of Rise and Fall of Dragons. You pay 2 life to put the top 4 cards of your deck into your gauge. You do eat through a lot of gauge in this deck, so just having another option in the form of this card to be able to search for more definitely does come in handy. 2 copies of Link Dragon Order's Links. You drop 2 cards from your deck and choose and use one of the following 2. Put the top 3 cards of your deck into your gauge and gain 1 life, or destroy a monster on the field. Most of the time, you're going to go for the gauge building in this deck, just like Rise and Fall of Dragons. Just running a variety of different ones to use as well, and having the counter option if you need to destroy an opponent's monster can pop up every now and then. With some of the one-ofs for our spell lineup being 1 copy of Soaring Dragon, Fair Skylines. It's a pay 2 gauge, draw 3, and drop 2. I really found more consistency with the new revival spell over this card since we drop a hand card and not pay 2 gauge, so it's just a one-of for more draw when we have the gauge to use it. The 1 copy of Death Reanimated Dragon Reborn, being able to drop your entire hand and draw 3 cards if you have 5 life or less, and then the 1 Sky Dragon Divinity as more of a shuffle back option for other cards in our drop to draw 2 cards also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. I know the Buddyfight deck profile updates have been sparing, but if there are any that you would like to see on the channel with the new 10th anniversary support, definitely do let me know down in the comments below. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.